G'day there guys, it's your big boy Markee from Markee Malarkey. Don't know what I'm saying here, but welcome back to another episode of r/LegalAdvice. Now I know a lot of you guys love this one, and halfway through the episode I got a nice funny surprise for you, so stick around until that one. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this one today. Subscribe if you haven't already. I know I'm annoying and I say that all the time, but it really does help out the channel. Anyway guys, let's get into it. I love you. So, Frequent Flyer 801 posts, about to get arrested when I land in Boston. Now, here's the original post. I can't believe this is happening to me. I'm flying from Chicago to Boston now, and police are waiting for me when I land. So I don't have much time, but I'm still gonna try and figure out my options. Edit. I've looked all over the internet, and can't find any FAA rule stating that your feet have to be on the ground during takeoff. Here is what happened. Okay, already, what the hell is going on here? I was on an American Airlines flight from Chicago to Boston on November 3rd, 2019. Because of low blood pressure, a foot injury, and to prevent my ankles and feet from swelling, I use a small sling that hangs from the tray table, while closed, and props your feet higher. This sling is often advertised on Facebook for this exact purpose, to make flights more comfortable for us shorter passengers. Right before takeoff, the flight attendant, who was in a very grumpy mood, yelled at me to put my feet on the ground. I am a frequent traveler and have never been instructed to put my feet on the ground before. She goes, "Roof, you have to put your feet on the ground, roof, roof." I cannot emphasize how rudely she barked at me. "No I don't, but okay," I say as I put my feet down. God, he put his foot down on that one, didn't he? Emphasizing again, I complied and put my feet down the first and only time she asked. Although I had never been instructed to put my feet down in the 100 plus flights I've taken with my foot sling, I complied. I put my feet down immediately. Even if it's technically not allowed by some rule that I'm not aware of, the flight attendant unnecessarily escalated the situation. She immediately escalated, saying, "Would you like to go back to the gate? We're gonna go back to the gate," and immediately ran down the cabin to her crew members in the back. But right after she said that, the captain announced that we are taking off. She came back in and barked, "The police will be waiting for you when we land in Boston, roof roof." My seatmates were equally shocked at her escalating behavior. You see, I had put my feet down when asked, and my 5 words, "No I don't, but okay," are now the cause of a police interrogation. Her statement caused me to panic inside. I'm now mid-flight with no idea what will await me at the gate, so I took some time-stamped photos immediately and stowed my foot sling back into my backpack for the remainder of the flight. Am I screwed? Alright, now we're gonna go to the updates for this one. Update 1. Thank you so much for your quick advice on a Sunday morning. I memorized some of the lines you wrote below. As we were about to land, my flight attendant handed me a slip of paper. Basically, it's just a little shred of paper that says, "Notice your actions may be in violation of federal law," and that he can get penalized for up to $25,000. Assault, apparently, drinking alcoholic beverages is one of them. Oh god, that's terrible. Then she says to me, "The police will contact you when you get home. You will be banned from future flights." Okay. "Oh, I hope so," as she walked away, roof roof. I burst out crying and hate myself for expressing emotion because she got what she wanted. She won. There was surprisingly no police at the gate, no one to handcuff me and read my Miranda rights. I made it home in one piece. Still worried about the police contacting me and being banned from future American Airlines flights. I've been an emotional wreck and can't stop crying. Thanksgiving and holiday flights are both on American Airlines. My seatmates were really nice and let me record their accounts of what happened. They gave me their business card in case I needed a witness. Thank you again for your helpful comments. I am not in jail, yet at least. Now update 2. American Airlines called me, apologized for the flight attendant escalating out of control. They will open an internal investigation. I conveyed that I don't want the flight attendant to suffer or be fired. Everyone has bad days, and she works a thankless job. But on that end, It's up to American Airlines to decide how to discipline the employee and prevent this from happening again. I don't want anyone else to suffer this stupid nonsense. She assured me that I won't get arrested or banned, and gave me her email in case something does happen to me. I did not ask for compensation and told her that I'm not here on a vengeance. Not here to make money or fame from American Airlines. No, did not make a dime from this and don't plan to. I will not be responding to media inquiries. And that link just says it's not gonna happen. For those of you calling me obese and telling me to die, I'm a 120-pound girl, lol. I injured my foot and was hospitalized, thus the sling. Forgot to mention that the incident happened during the usual cabin check before takeoff. Around me, some tray tables were still lowered, some backpacks not tucked completely under yet, some seatbelts not fastened yet, you know. It's just that I talked back, saying, no I don't, but okay, and I regret that so much. Halloween is over, but she spooked me to the core. Someone asked if it's a racial thing. I'm not white, but it's probably not related to race. Many of you guys advise me not to delete the post and keep it here in case it happens to someone else, and they need answers, so I hope this helps. And update 2.5. There's been a lot of debate about whether the sling is allowed or not. American Airlines told me 1. Yes, medical devices are allowed. 2. I'm protected under ACAA and ADA. 3. Technically on American Airlines, you don't always need to make a special request to allow the device. In most cases, you can just tell the crew that it's a medical device and they should understand. But for extra safety, it helps to make a note on your profile about it. And 4. There should be no obstructive items in the way during takeoff and landing. However, this particular AA representative said that this sling is not an obstructive item. Wow, so that is a lot. That's hilarious though, I love that. I don't know what else to say, I'm just gonna make stupid jokes and puns if I keep going, so let's go to the next story. Poisoned at family dinner. I'm currently on vacation visiting family for Christmas. I'm 20, female, and vegan by choice. I'm kidding. However, I'm allergic to red meat. I was bitten by a Lone Star tick, which caused me to develop a severe allergy to meat. My family makes fun of me for being vegan, though I cook for myself for all meals and don't mention it much at all. Anyway, I guess some of my extended family didn't know the severity of my allergy, because my younger cousin, 16 male, chopped up steak, extremely finely I guess, and put it in my butternut squash soup. God, that sounds really good. Shortly after I ate some of my soup, I couldn't breathe and was breaking out in hives. I woke up in the hospital on Christmas Day. My mum called an ambulance when she saw my face was swelling. My cousin didn't say sorry when I started breaking out in hives. He started laughing and told me what he had done. I woke up to a text from him saying, "Stop overreacting, you need protein," with a picture of a slaughtered cow. His parents aren't very well off. In fact, I don't think they have insurance. I just wanted to know, should I pursue a legal case, or is that an overreaction? I don't know, to me, it feels like with stories like these, when there's so many things that are just like poking fun that you can just get angry at, you know, how many normal people are just going to text a picture of a dead cow and say, you need protein? I feel like this is someone that's just hamming the story up, you know, but let's read the update anyway, we'll see what continues in this case. Update, poisoned at family dinner, NE. Hey guys, I first just want to thank you all for all the support regarding my last post. I've had a free consultation with a personal injury lawyer and have filed a police report, like many of you suggested. I let my cousin, my aunt, and uncle know this, and they immediately ended up offering to pay my hospital bill and ambulance ride in full. My cousin gave me a half-hearted apology, and his parents told me he won't be leaving the house for the next year and will be severely punished for this. I've decided to not press charges. I don't really have the money and time for it, and all I needed was my medical expenses paid. I just plan on not going to any family gatherings where he is for a long time. Thanks again for all the love and support. I mean, that's probably the easiest route to go about it. I feel like he needs a bit more punishment than a year, but, you know, people always lax those rules. He'll probably be leaving the house in the next month after that was put in place, in all honesty. That boy needs a major clap down for intentionally almost killing his cousin. Come on, can we get punishment? Send him on Dr. Phil. Send him to frickin', you know, remember back in like 2000s on MTV when they had those bloody boot camps that they'd send people to the army for like a month at a time or something? Can we send him there? That would be hilarious. Like when I was a kid, I was always scared of being sent there. And I lived in Australia, for Christ's sake. What are they gonna do? Send me to the desert and make me ride a kangaroo for the rest of my life? Like, no. Anyway, let's go to the next story. Free Run Lady 92 says, neighbor's off-leash dog attacks and injures my dog, sister, and myself. Now she's trying to sue me. She were the ones with $29,000 in medical bills. What? This is NC USA, this is North Carolina. Sorry for the long post, but I'm trying to be detailed. We live in the city limits of Wake County, Raleigh, North Carolina, where there are strict leash laws. America, come on, what's happened to your education system, buddies? Our new neighbors moved in next door about 6 months ago, and have 2 large Labradors who are let out the back door into the open yards each day and night. One of their dogs is very sweet and well behaved, while the other is rather aggressive and will charge at people and other dogs. We have asked them multiple times to walk their dogs on leashes, and explained about the city leash laws of our state and county, but they refuse to keep them on leashes. 2 months ago, one of their labs charged at myself and my small beagle. The dog bit my arm enough to draw blood, and I kicked her dog to get it to stop and back off from its attack. Alright, I can't believe that a lab would charge at someone and attack them. Geez, this is news to me. I thought they were like heaven's fluffy angels. The owner went into a rage over me kicking her dog, and the next day filed a complaint against me with our HOA. That backfired, because the HOA contacted me for my side of the story and ended up charging the neighbor a $250 violation of HOA agreement fee. I didn't file an animal control report because my bite wasn't bad, and I thought the HOA fine would set them straight. Also for the fact that it's not the dog's fault her owner is an idiot. They continued to let their dogs run free, and we have multiple videos of them letting their dogs run free, and of the aggressive dog running onto our porch and throwing her body against our glass door, trying to get at our dogs inside our house. God, that would be terrifying. It's like this cute freaking Labrador being like, "Rah, come here, I'm gonna eat ya." Last month, I confronted our neighbor with the multiple videos, and she told me she needed to walk them on leashes, and we were no longer willing to be afraid to use our back porch or walk our dogs anymore, and told her this was the last time we'd be nicely asking her, and next time we'd call animal control. Fast forward to 6 days ago, when I woke up to the sound of one of my dogs, for the lack of a better term, screaming. I jumped out of bed and ran into the yard, where my sister and one of the beagles was being attacked by her dog. My sister had curled around our dog and was being repeatedly bitten by the neighbor's dog. I tackled the neighbor's dog and, not proud to say as a lifelong animal lover, proceeded to grab the dog by her neck and force her to the ground by her neck, and shove her head into the ground while practically sitting on the dog to control her. The neighbors finally get her dog inside. The results were, my dog had a huge chunk ripped out of her throat, multiple rips in both ears, 6 broken teeth on her bottom jaw, a shattered front paw and broken arm, and multiple bites to her face and rib cage. My dog needed all broken teeth removed, pins in her arms and paw, dozens of stitches, and a skin graft. Had no idea they could do this for dogs, to close the hole in her neck. How is that dog not dead? My God, it's been to hell and back to hell and back after those injuries. My sister needed 38 stitches from the bites she received. I ended up with 29 stitches from the bites I received, and all 3 of us are on a plethora of antibiotics and follow-up care, including rabies shots for my sister and I, because her dog had no current shots. Those shots are not pleasant in any way. This story is pain so far. Our combined medical/vet bills are $29,000, with still needing follow-up visits for all of us over the next few months. She's refusing to pay anything at all, and claims she's not at fault because our yard isn't fenced. She's also claiming she's going to sue us because apparently I broke 2 of her dog's ribs when I tackled her to the ground. Yeah, that's really comparable, isn't it? I cleared out my savings account of $3,500 to make the basic payments to save my dog's life, and I don't have any more money to hire a lawyer. We can hardly afford the copays on our insurance to get our rabies treatments and prescriptions filled. I filed to get an advance on my pay, but it can take up to 2 weeks to go through, and I was served with a court summons today for injuries to her dog and her pain and suffering from the trauma of her hurt pet. The claim also states that I intentionally caused harm to her pet and used unnecessary force to subdue her pet. Look, I'm a 4'10" female, and my sister is a 4'8" female. Her dog is almost as big as I am. I really don't know where to start on how to deal with this. I feel like we have a solid case due to the videos and the paperwork from the HOA for the first time she tried to blame us. I also have messages that span her time as our neighbor via the Nextdoor app, where she admits to walking her pets off leash and her refusal to stop because it's her house. How in the world can I fight this without being able to pay a lawyer's fee up front? Edit. Thank you all so much for the advice. We're feeling much more helpful, and I feel like I can actually sleep tonight. You're all wonderful, kind internet strangers, and we appreciate you all. Update after filing a police report. My sister and I went to the police station this morning. The officer suggested we each file our own reports for multiple reasons, with one being my sister wasn't involved in the first attack, and we each technically own 1 dog, even though we share expenses. 1 dog I bought from a rescue and is property in my name, and the attack dog was bought under my sister's name. The video of evidence was used for both reports, but the messages were used for mine only, since they came from my account. The officer called animal control and viewed it as a good use of their weekend emergency service, because the neighbor did not and could not provide a proof of a rabies shot, and is viewed as a public health risk, and no one can confirm the dog's violence isn't attributed to that. That's probably not the case, but city law requires all dogs within city limits to be registered with the city and up to date on all shots. He suggested that we take our dogs and cars and leave the neighborhood between 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., or until we receive a follow-up call from animal control. He also suggested we call our home insurance after we were done at the station, and had a police report to give them. The police took photos of our injuries and said that we need to take pictures of our dog once we got home. We already took photos of ourselves and our dog last night after reading through comments on here, but they wanted their own to file with the report. We asked about getting a protection or restraining order, but he said it would be very hard to do, because we'd have the burden of proof, showing that she maliciously and intentionally used her dog to harm us or prove a history of stalking us. My boyfriend went out this morning and bought 2 cameras and a stack of SD cards. He has one set up to look over our backyard and one to look out where we park our cars and front porch. This lady is still letting her dogs run out free after the attack, and we can get that on video. My sister, dogs, and I are going to spend the night at my boyfriend's house tonight, just so we can stay clear of the crazy neighbor. We called our insurance company and are giving them all the reports, bills, evidence, etc. They're sending an agent out tomorrow afternoon to take the video and pictures of both yards, and they gave us a list of local law firms that specialize in personal injury and property damage cases, and will work in conjunction with whatever lawyer we go with. One thing the insurance company pointed out is that they don't see any law firm named in my summons, and think she may have filed by representing herself. They also said that the roommate texting us all week, saying that they'd pay for everything, could be viewed as their admittance of fault, but a lawyer would be able to confirm that. We did message most of the neighbors on our row, and a few of them have had bad experiences and are willing to write statements. The kicker is the family is directly behind us has a teenage son who took a video on his phone of the big attack. The neighbor dog had tried to attack her son's cat while he was on the back porch once, and her son heard the yelling and whipped out his phone. I haven't seen it yet, but his mother said they'll gladly turn it over to our lawyer and write statements. We're going to be busy this week and have a lot to do to get everything together, but it seems like we have a very solid case. Thank you so much for all your advice and time. You guys are incredible. I'll continue to update or do an update thread when we have talked to a lawyer. And now on to the update post. Apologies if my voice has changed, this is the second day in a row that I've done filming this. Now, this is update, neighbors off-leash dog attacks and injures my dog, sister and myself. Now she's trying to sue me. We're the ones with $29,000 in medical bills in North Carolina, USA. So my sister and I spent the weekend after I posted researching local lawyers that were suggested by our insurance and found 3 we wanted to contact. The guy we went with is amazing and more vicious than the neighbor's dog. That's a yikes from me, dog. He is also willing to take payment after a judge or settlement, and offered us a lower percentage than what we have researched is the norm. Ends up, his son had been attacked by an off-leash dog once, and he feels very strongly that irresponsible dog owners understand the repercussions of their actions, and that the neighbor is a threat, and this needs to be handled quickly. You'll love this one. The neighbor's mean dog has been put down. She was deemed uncontrollable and not able to be rehabbed. That's harsh, but do you guys think that's fair? We've seen the nice dog over the last few days with the roommate, so she must have paid the fines to get her back. Our lawyer responded to her case against me and confirmed we'd be meeting them in the small claims court. She was also served with 2 separate lawsuits, one from myself with my medical cost including estimate long-term cost, rehab cost, lost work and vacation days, pain and suffering, and destruction of property. I'll explain the destruction of property shortly. One for my sister, including estimated long-term medical cost, lost work and vacation days, property damage, our dog, and pain and suffering. Her lawsuit against me has a court date of March 5th. After she was served with our lawsuits, she apparently desperately tried dropping the case against me, but the prosecutor denied her request. Didn't know they could do that, neither did I. She then tried contacting our lawyer multiple times to ask him to get the prosecutor to drop the case. He informed her that wasn't something he had control of, and we'd still be moving forward with the 2 lawsuits against her. She finally got herself a lawyer, and our lawyer was contacted with settlement offers that in his terms were laughable, and we refused the settlement offers. Our lawyer used past cases of dog attacks in North Carolina where settlements of over $800,000 were paid out, and that involved cases where the dog's owners actually tried to stop the attack. Now for some extra facts. My left wrist is going to need surgery that's scheduled to take place on February 27th. Our dog had her drain removed from her neck and her skin graft is healing up nicely, but she's still in a cast with pins in her paw. The vet thinks she'll have a limp, but will recover with no other long-lasting injuries. She still refuses to go out the back door anymore and will cry and plant if we try. The destruction of property in my claim comes from those cameras my boyfriend installed. The day after her dog was put down, she literally took a baseball bat to everything in our front and backyard. She broke our porch railing, smashed all our flower pots, bent my hammock's metal base, and used some kind of utility knife to slice up the hammock, tore the plants out of the ground in our garden, including pulling up imported maple trees, Jesus, those would be expensive, dumped some sort of substance that had jelly-like consistency in our koi pond, killing all the fish, and broke various other things in our yard. She straight up went on a rampage that was all caught on the cameras. She also left 2 notes on our door. One threatened to shoot our dogs, and that she'd have someone beat us up. We called the cops immediately, and they took it seriously. They asked if we wanted to press charges, and we did. Our lawyer used the notes and camera footage to get an emergency protection order for us, not against us, I was about to say that, and we haven't so much as seen her since, though we see her car come and go. The video of the attack that the other neighbor's son took was a pure godsend. It shows how she just sat there and did nothing to try and stop the attack. It also shows her audibly laughing during it. She only started trying to help when I started smashing her dog into the ground. We also got statements from multiple neighbors, and our lawyer is working on getting multiple complaints from other families from the HOA. He said it's pointless to go after the HOA and we wouldn't get worthwhile results from them. Our lawyer did tell us that the HOA has started the eviction process against the neighbours, but that could take a long time and can be contested. There was also a memo sent out to the neighbourhood about leash rules, and that there will be an upcoming vote about the possibly muzzling dogs if they're in common areas outside of our private properties, and other new neighbourhood rules concerning pets. I honestly can't tell if this lady had some sort of mental breakdown or is just plain crazy. Either way, my sister and I both have our separate court dates against her in mid and end of March. Thank you all so much for your advice and guidance. You guys not only gave us the knowledge, but the confidence to fight this, and we're both so grateful to you all. I'll be sure to update after the court dates, and keep you guys up to date. Please feel free to ask any questions, and I'll answer whatever I can. And look guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but this was posted a year ago, and there has not since been an update, so we can only guess what has happened in this situation. Anyway guys, one more post to go and we'll be done with this episode. And our next post is by a user in Michigan, stating, X is saying that she lives with me and that I'm abusive. Police kicked me out of my own house. Sounds like Johnny Depp and his old partner. My ex broke into my house while I was sleeping. I woke up to her watching TV with my son. I took my son in his room and told her that she needed to leave immediately. She starts screaming, telling me to stop hitting her and she's sorry, all while hitting me. I did not hit her. I did not hit her. I'm a big dude and I would probably send her flying. I just threw my hands up to avoid any hits to the face and throat area. I ended up putting her in a bear hug to stop all the hitting. Obviously, someone called the police because they thought I was murdering her. She told the police that I was her husband, I was drunk, violent, and that she was scared I'd hurt our kid. Police told me to kick rocks and ask if she had to call again, they'd lock me up. I tried to explain them that I was the owner of the house and that we weren't married. They brushed me off. Now she's in my house with my kid. I can't go back or else I'm going to jail and my neighbors think I'm a woman beater. How do I navigate this? With a lot of difficulty, that's for sure, Jesus. And on to our update. I went to the police station with my ex's, the mother of my child's, parents, with proof of my ownership of the house, driver's license, my taxes, to show my filing status, and video of her breaking in. They brought her mail that was addressed to their house, not mine. I threw a fit and essentially told them to get her out of my house or else I was going to sue. I have no idea if I actually can or not, but it seemed scary enough. I showed them my bruises and scratches from her attacking me, and eventually they relented. We went to my house, I let them in, and they went to remove her. They arrested her, Child Protective Services is now involved, and I'm on my way to a lawyer consultation. Thanks for all the help everyone. Hopefully this will be my last update. Okay, I just looked at this guy's profile and this guy's profile was supposed to be the surprise, but I'm gonna leave it for the next episode because it's too funny. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this one today. There's one more story from this guy's profile. I'll read that tomorrow. I hope you really enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun recording it, and yeah, I've not got much else to say. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and have a good sleep. Whatever you're up to, I'll see you later. Bye.